some hacks to keep the weight off, you're in the right place. If you're new to me, my name is Coach Steph. I'm a registered dietitian, personal trainer, mindset transformation coach, and I help female perfectionists beat self sabotage and lose the weight for good inside the Fit Figure Formula, which is my signature 16-week program that I help you transform your life. I help you transform your mindset. I help you actually understand your nutrition and be able to master it, as well as your emotions and your mindset. So, this is about lifestyle transformation, and I want to give you a few tips today. So, if you're new to me, that's who I am. Make sure that you follow me and that you are in my Facebook group. I do go live every week inside my Facebook group. Plus, my Facebook group gets a little bit of extra content because they are in my community. But if you're watching this on YouTube or Instagram or LinkedIn or any other platform on my profile page, for example, on Facebook, welcome. If you're not in my Facebook group, or that you join my Facebook group. It's called Weight Loss for Female Perfectionists on Facebook, and you can check that out now. So a little tidbit, y'all. I'm gonna be kind of quick today. Usually my lives last about 45 minutes or so because I have enough tips for every live. But my son, who's in second grade, is waiting on me. So, for example, he told me this morning he was nervous because I need to go to the grocery store today, and I'm like, I'm gonna drop your lunch off, and he's like, "Mommy, I'm nervous." And I forgot his lunch one time, meaning like I sent him to school. I was supposed to bring his lunch and I forgot, and he had to eat in the cafeteria, and he has never let me forget that. So he's like so nervous that I'm going to forget and I'm not going to bring him his lunch today because he's a very picky eater. He never eats in the cafeteria. So I have to pack him his special lunch. So I'm not going to be able to go through all the tips that I was going to talk about today. Um, but I might either break this up into a part two. If y'all have questions, let me know. But I'm gonna go through this kind of quickly so that I can get my son his lunch. But if you're watching, say hello. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know you're watching. If you have any questions about how to lose weight and keep it off. Now, a lot of my clients will tell me, I know how to lose weight. I just don't know how to keep it off. I keep having to diet over and over again. And there is a fear of quote unquote failing or a fear of gaining the weight back. And I've said this before that having a fear of gaining the weight back is not the same as focusing on succeeding and focusing on the woman that you need to be to create and keep the result. I don't want you to focus on your fear of failure. I want you to focus more on what you do want versus what you don't want. So that is one tip that I can give you off top before I even dive into my notes is if you are scared to fail, you're operating in fear. Fear is scarcity, fear is lack, and you are creating that energy and you're drawing that right onto you. And that's called self sabotage because a lot of times when we are fearful of something, we're really hyper focused on it and we end up creating the exact thing that we do not want or we say that we don't want. So make sure that you are focused on success and not just focused on your fear of failure. Does that make sense, y'all? Let me know. And let me know if y'all can hear me. I don't know if I can see comments with where I'm streaming today. I hope so. I hope this is going through in my Facebook group, y'all. Say hi if you're watching. All right, I'm going to dive into my notes because I want to make sure that I get through as much of these notes as possible. All right, so number one, if you're watching, I want to know what's your biggest struggle with keeping the weight off? What is your biggest struggle with keeping the weight off? Like a lot of ladies can lose weight. And here's some things that I've heard. One, I lost the weight, but I lost it in a way that I did not like. I did not want to cut out a mealtime. I did not want to cut out carbs Or I was working out 2 times a day and that's not something that I can do. Or, I went vegan, or I did something. I created this result in a way that I did not like, in a way that is unsustainable for me. And this isn't something that I want to continue to do. And a lot of times when we reach our goal, we kind of like turn our brain off after that. We're like, oh, okay. And we like wash our hands of the job. We think the job is done, but there is no finish line when it comes to your fitness journey. You're always supposed to be taking care of your health, your body, your mind, your emotions. So there is no like done. There is no done. So we have to set identity based goals. Okay. So this means this is one shift, right? So this is a mindset shift for you when you get to your maintenance weight is you have to shift from, oh, I'm just doing this thing to get a result, to this is who I have become. I am the person who eats healthy. I am a self disciplined person. I am consistent, right? Instead of thinking like, oh, well, I do it sometimes. I start off strong and then I don't finish, or um I'm lazy. I hear that a lot, and that one really gets to me because my identity is a self-disciplined person. Like I trust myself. If I'm going to bet on anybody, I'm going to bet on me, period. That like gave me goosebumps because I mean that with every fiber of my being. If I'm going to bet on somebody, I'm going to bet on me. And at the end of the day, if you're like walking around saying like I'm lazy, is that what you want to think about yourself? Because people who think that they're lazy do things that lazy people do. And probably you won't have your goals, right? So making sure that you shift your mindset from being a doer of a diet to something that is more identity based. And of course, we work on this inside the Fit Figure formula. By the way, y'all, right now the Black Friday offer is already available. If you are on my email list, I have sent out a couple of emails in regards to what the Black Friday offer is, and it's really good. There's an opportunity. This is a Black Friday offer for someone who has maybe a significant amount of weight to lose, who has been eyeing the formula for quite a while, who understands that mindset is important, and who wants to take action within this like next week and a half or so that you can take advantage of the Black Friday offer. If you are not on my email list or for some reason haven't gotten the email, just DM me and I will give you all the details. So we have to switch from being a doer necessarily to an identity based goal, which means you're still doing the actions, right? You're still doing the actions, but you are focused on who am I being? And when you are a person who is disciplined, you do things that disciplined people do. So, another shift that you can make is understanding the power of your wins. I used to say small wins. I don't like saying small wins anymore because there's no such thing as a small win. So if you want to get consistent, if you want to live at your maintenance weight, you have to understand how to count all the wins that you create, even the ones that are not on the scale. Perfect example. I have a client right now who is in the military. She just passed some test or something that she had to do for the military. Um, I think she was probably a little disappointed because she didn't make the weight that she wanted to make. But she got an in body scan. Highly recommend that you guys are getting in body scans that can tell you your body fat percentage, musculature, and all of that. And what it said was she stayed the same weight. Actually, what the in body said was that she lost 3 pounds. But I also feel like y'all don't count that. Y'all don't care about 3 pounds. Y'all want it to be more than that. But her body fat percentage went down and her musculature went up. So essentially, she's around the same weight, but her body composition is changing. And so for a lot of y'all will discount that and be like, I'm not making any progress, versus understanding that you are lowering your body fat percentage and that's a win, and actually counting that. Okay. And Third mindset shift I'll give you is reframing your quote unquote slip ups. So instead of trying to punish yourself by doing more exercise or restricting more and more, understand that you have to have a plan for your bounce back, because you will fall off sometimes. Like, the falling off ain't the problem. I always tell my clients, don't try not to fall off. Understand how to quickly get yourself taking some action again. Okay. Hey, Michelle, thanks for watching. Um, if you focus on not falling off, you're going to fall off, and then you're going to feel like you fail, and you might stop or micro quit, versus noticing, oh, I'm not really doing the habits that I want to be doing. What is my one thing, kind of like my domino thing, to get me back on track? So for a lot of my clients, it's just taking a walk outside. Right now in Texas, where I'm at, the weather is beautiful. It's a great time to just like go outside and start walking. That can be the catalyst. You know how like when you start doing something, it's easier to go the next day. Like when I go to the gym, when I haven't been in a while, that first time that you go is like, ooh, okay, I got to make myself go. And then the second time and the third time and fourth time, like it gets easier and easier because I went the day before. So you just need to find that one thing, whether it is a walk, whether it is listening to music, to ride a bike, whatever it is, to start your routine again. And don't look at falling off as being a bad thing, because I call it the ebb and flow. You will go up and down in your habits, and that's not inconsistent. It's only inconsistent if you completely stop and you're stopping for like a month, 3 months, 6 months. But I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even make that a problem. There are months where I don't go. Probably once a year, I get into this funk and I don't go to the gym. I don't make it a problem at all. Because if I zoom out year after year after year after year, I'm 41 years old, I've been really consistent. And if I take off a month and I don't go to the gym, I don't make that a problem. But y'all are making it a problem, and you're guilting yourself, beating yourself up. That's not going to help you go the next month. And then it becomes a huge problem. Instead of just being a month that you take off, now it's been 3 months. Okay. So understanding that you don't have to punish yourself when you slip up or fall off the wagon, understanding how to get yourself to take action again. Because when you are at that maintenance level, there will be times where you start noticing the scale going back up again. Don't beat yourself up. Just start with that one. I call it your domino. Start with that one domino, that one thing that's going to help you reset, that's going to help you to refocus on your goals and your habits. And that's going to be the game changer. And that's so simple. Um, Another thing that I will say as well is just making sure that when you get to your goal, you still need to check in with yourself. Like with my clients, I have them check in and do a check-in form inside of my coaching app. This coaching app literally walks you through it. I tell them what to do every single solitary day for 16 weeks. And of course, we have our live coaching calls as well. But on Saturdays, they check in with yourselves. You still need to do that at maintenance. Again, we turn our brain off at maintenance when we hit our goal, and we just kind of like think that it's over. No, I still need to be checking in with myself and seeing, you know, how did I eat this week? How well did I move this week? How am I feeling? Like, have you taken an inventory of your emotions or your mental energy? You still need to be checking in with yourself regularly. This is the relationship that you have with yourself. If you're not spending time alone, I know people who literally don't like to be by themselves. That is that can be dangerous because at the end of the day, like if you don't like to spend time with yourself, or if you don't spend any time with yourself, it's like, what are you avoiding? What are you avoiding thinking about? What are you avoiding feeling? And those are the things that are going to creep back up into your maintenance journey when you don't even have a good relationship with yourself. And really, your relationship with food and fitness, is kind of a mirror of what your relationship is with yourself. Okay. So I'm going to keep going. Y'all let me know in the comments if this is making sense. Thanks, Michelle, for your comment. So I know that y'all can actually see me and hear me. Um, all right. So in terms of the nutrition part, so nutrition, quote unquote, hacks. I know that you don't want to track your food for the rest of your life. Nobody does. Inside the Fit Figure formula, I teach my clients how to pre plan their food so they can hit their macros every single day. But even I don't want to pre plan my food every day for the rest of my life. So I kind of think of it as a spectrum. So if you have goals, I think that it is better. This is just my personal method. I like to see the numbers. I'm a numbers person. I like science, and I like to count my macros. That way I can see exactly what's happening with my food. Then, if we back up off the spectrum a little bit, we have tracking, which is what most people do. They eat an apple, they put it in. They eat oatmeal, they put it in. And some people like that better. That's fine. But if you don't know how to hit your goals, then you'll be at the end of the day under protein, over calories. You can't do anything about that. And you're tracking, but you're tracking kind of for nothing because you don't know how to hit your numbers. So when you pre plan, you get better at tracking, right? It doesn't mean that you can't track or that I think tracking is bad. It's just that if you don't know what you're doing, you're wasting a lot of time tracking in MyFitnessPal, but you're still not hitting your numbers. So it doesn't really matter, right? So understanding your actual nutrition through pre-planning can help you with tracking. And then pre-planning and tracking can help you eat intuitively much better because you have measured out your food enough times to where now I can eyeball it way better. And I am using my hunger cues and I'm using my knowledge and education from measuring out my food to look at my plate and say, yeah, I think that's about right. Right. So, when you start out in the Fit Figure formula, I give you what's called a breakfast formula, a lunch formula, and a dinner formula. And essentially, it always includes protein, it always has a healthy fat, and it always has some sort of protein or produce, whether that is a whole fruit or a whole vegetable. So when you get to maintenance, you want to make sure that you're still following some basic guidelines. Do not turn your brain off. You still want to have a balanced plate when you eat, right? You still want to be mindful of your mindful eating techniques, like eating more slowly and avoiding distractions. Like, no, you're not dieting. No, you don't have a weight goal to hit necessarily. But even when you are at maintenance and you are satisfied with the weight that you're at, you still should continue the practice of mindful eating, having a balanced plate, prepping something, whether it is just dinner, for example, or just your snacks. Like, my guideline for my clients is all or something. So not all or nothing, which keeps you very inconsistent, but prep everything or something, whether it is just the smallest things like bagging up some nuts for your snacks, right? So making sure that you are still following basic plate guidelines, mindful eating, and portion control. Like, you can still do that without having to measure food out, without it taking more time, but you can't just think that you have hit the finish line and then stop actually paying attention to your food. Okay. I'm gonna give y'all a few more and then I gotta go pick up my son. I told y'all at the beginning, my son is wanting his lunch, so I want to make sure that I get to him and drop off his lunch for today. So let me see. I'm not gonna be able to go through all of this. So I'm gonna give y'all some of my best tips. Let me look through my notes. Y'all let me know in the chat if this is making sense. Oh, here's a good one. Okay, so I cannot express enough how important stress management is, especially for us women over 40. We had our hormone coach come last night to talk to the group. And one of the things that she also mentioned was stress. So when we are stressed, there are a cascade of reactions that are happening in our body. And for a lot of us, especially as Black women, we sometimes don't even realize how stressed we are. I tell you all the time about the story on my 40th birthday. I had been stressed, I guess, but it was just life at the time. And I went to go get a deep tissue massage on my birthday. And when I tell you I cried, like snot hanging from the table, like crying. I cried all that day from the release that I didn't even know I needed. I literally was crying, like boo hoo crying during my massage. I cried all that day. I was so emotional. And my brain was confused. I was sitting there thinking, oh my God, I'm sorry. Like the lady kept having to give me tissue. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening right now. But my body shifted from being super stressed to allowing myself to relax. And I didn't even know I was holding all of that in my body. So even if you don't quote unquote feel stressed, right? Um, you still may be holding on to a lot of stress. And that is going to impact your sleep. That's going to impact your weight journey. So make sure that you have some way to manage your stress. Some way not only to manage stress, but get rid of some of the stressors that are stressing you out. And I know that's a whole tangent I can go on. Sleep hygiene, making sure you're getting enough sleep. We are scrolling at night. I see y'all on here active, the little green, the little green bubble that says you're active at 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then you wonder why you're so tired. This is not just a bad habit, it is affecting your health journey. And I don't think we put enough emphasis on it because we don't think it's a big deal, but it really is a really big deal. Okay. So, stress management, sleep hygiene, and just understanding your behavioral triggers. So, identifying and addressing situations that lead to overeating. One thing that I tell my clients, we have a worksheet that we go through with emotional eating. And you have to know, like, what are your triggers for emotional eating? There can be environmental triggers, there can be emotional triggers, and you just have to know what triggers you and be able to say in the moment and kind of call it out and say, oh, I'm triggered in this moment, or I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling lonely, or whatever the feeling is, and then decide what to do from there. If y'all missed the emotional eating workshop that I did, let me know. I can send you the replay if you want to hear that. I go through everything that you need to know in order to beat emotional eating. But behavioral triggers, and it might be a season, right? Like this season, the holiday season, there's a lot of food, a lot of alcohol. It might be colder where you're at and you're not moving as much. Like there's a lot to be said. And if you're not aware, the same thing that happened last season or last Christmas season and the season before that and the season before that is going to happen this year, where you're gaining weight, you're gaining the weight back that you lost over this past year. And then we're starting over in January. Like, aren't you tired of that? Aren't you tired of doing that? In the Fit Figure formula, I'm going to teach you how to become the woman that creates the result and keep your result. Okay. And not turn your brain off once you get to your weight loss goal. Okay. So that's all I'm going to have time for today, y'all. I had so many notes that I was excited to share, and maybe I'll come back and do a part two. But I hope this was helpful so far. Like I said earlier, if you guys are wanting to join the Fit Figure Formula, now is the time. Sharon, what are you laughing at? I see I see a little emoji from you. If you want to join the Fit Figure Formula, the Black Friday offer is available right now. If you don't know what that is and you haven't checked your email, just DM me and I will give you those details. That is going to be ending soon, so you want to make sure that you get in on the Black Friday offer. That is not coming back. And let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope this streamed through my Facebook group, y'all. All right. So y'all have a good evening. I'm going to get out of here so I can take my baby his lunch. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you soon.